going to do now? Sing forte, or are we going to start something new? Let's start piano here. 2, continue. I was brought up by parents and in a family where there were 2 highest values. One was music, and the other was being Jewish. A Jewish chord if ever I heard one. Yeah. And I always knew throughout my life that I would be combining those 2 values, those 2 interests. I was trained as a pianist, and I was a good sight reader, and I had sung in my father's choir in shul. My father was a conductor. Most people don't know that. He conducted for his brother-in-law, who was a cantor, and I sang in a shul choir as a child. And I sang choral music every now and then. But my primary experience, besides playing the piano, was playing the cello in high school. I was a cellist in high school, not in the choral program of music and art. The first time I really sang in an organized choir was with Zamir. Then it wasn't even called Zamir. It was called the Mossad Choral Group. And we were singing primarily 3- or 4-part harmonies sometimes. And that was my first experience with choral music. Although I knew great choral music and had sung Bach and Brahms and Mozart at open sings because my parents loved to sing. The Jewish people live in minor. When you finally get a major chord, you say, thank God. We're the Dorian people, minor 1, major 4, back to Gehenna, down to minor 1. I always was drawn to the experience of Jewish music and Western music. And so when I met Solomon Rossi, I was 16, he was already dead for 300 years, but the fact that someone could combine the meaning of the language of Western music to illuminate Jewish text, that was a real breakthrough in my life. I knew Moshe Kozovitsky's music. I went to hear the great cantors. I knew what that experience that could be. I was singing the Bach B minor Mass when I was 11 years old. I knew what that experience could be. But to have a composer, a first-rate composer, who was drilling into my brain, understanding the text, making a comment about Jewish experience, that was a pivotal moment in my life. By 1990, I had already created the beginnings of Hazamir, even though then it was called the All-City Jewish High School Choir, and had created the National Jewish Choral, which was a combination of the best choirs, the best Jewish choirs I could find, and doing several performances in major halls in the city. I had been to many choral festivals, especially in Israel at the Zimriyah, and I sensed and I knew from my experience that what was necessary to build a community was to have a long event. An event, 5 days, 4 nights, where singers, choirs, conductors, individuals could get together and really spend 5 days together. Our first choral festival was really basically my inviting all my friends and their choirs to come and sing, or people who I knew, who I thought should really meet each other and have a chance to develop. We had reflexology for Jews. We had learning how to play the toph. We had folk dancing. It was all around Jewish cultural experience. But of course the goal, my goal, was to bring Jewish choral music to a higher level, to bring Jewish choral musicians together, and to have one huge party. We have an expression in Hebrew, Im tirtzu ein zo agada. If you will it, it will happen. It's not just a legend. And I strongly believe in that idea. And so I just went about going to the Concord Hotel where I had been working and telling them that this was what I was going to do. I called all my friends. I said, set aside 5 days, bring your choir, form a choir. And I called everyone I knew and I said, we're doing this. The experience of singing in a choir really resolves the tension of the individual and the group, especially if that's the goal. And if you sing in a choir, that is your goal, to achieve something greater than yourself. What I've tried to do through my work and through creating the Choral Foundation, not only in the Zamir Choral, but in HaZamir, and especially at the North American Jewish Choral Festival, is to get the diverse perspectives of the American Jewish community and have them agree on one thing: we are together. We are unified, at least for these 2 hours in a performance of a community sing, of a rehearsal. We're in this together, and it doesn't make a difference what you believe, what you think, how we should proceed. Everyone only sees the better angels of their nature and sings with the better angels of their nature when they are singing in a choir, at least one of our choirs, because we include everybody. The only thing we care about is, can you sing tenor, do you think? One of the most inspiring moments in the festival's history, and the moment that I'm most proud of, is when in 1996 Israel was celebrating Jerusalem 3000, celebrating the city of Jerusalem and its long history as the center of the Jewish people. And we celebrated the North American Jewish Choral Festival in Israel. We brought hundreds of singers to Israel to sing music about Jerusalem and sing music about Israel in Israel. It was really taking the American Jewish choral population to Israel to tribute that country. When people ask me, how do I enjoy the festival? I have a very simple answer for them. It's my favorite week of the entire year. I get a chance to see a lot of happy people. I know that my idea was what brought them to this place. I learned something. I watch other people learn something. It is a long-lost family reunion that happens every summer. And it's just a staggeringly beautiful thing to see. Unity in music with no downside. It's my favorite week.
Coffee.